when you say about the benefits of Brexit, first of all, I'd be the first to agree, right, that when it comes to our borders, we can do that now, but the point is that you do need the political will to do it. You need the political will to do it, and frankly, that seems not to be there. All these new kind of restrictions on trade or bureaucracy on trade that's been put on, for example, I'm totally with Lord Frost on that. We shouldn't be doing that. I agree with that. But the most important thing is that you cannot just look at Brexit in terms of the economics. That was the real problem Remainers made, even during the referendum. It wasn't just about that. It was about sovereignty. It was about basically being independent. I think those things are simply there. They might take a while to basically adjust, but they are there. And I think, as someone who was right at the very heart of the Brexit campaign, in 2016, frankly, I have no regrets about it. And also, interestingly, I think the majority of people who think were right to come out, particularly after the experience of COVID and what happened with the vaccine and all of that in the EU, they actually, there are more people now than there were, say, maybe 3 or 4 years ago who are pleased that we've come out. So I think that the benefits aren't immediately visible because they're not all economic.
Well, maybe there aren't any.
I don't know.
No, there are.
I never thought it was going to be easy to leave the European Union.
Exactly.
Actually, I always knew it was going to be quite difficult. I mean, the hardest part was getting the political class to actually agree to that popular vote that 52% of us voted for. That took us 4 years. It's not Boris Johnson's Brexit, by the way. It was people that voted for that, and people who held the political class to account every time they refused to kind of honour that vote. So that was hard work, but that was a victory for voters, I think. But what it has done, Kevin, is I think it has exposed the political class and how shallow they are. It's kind of like rolling back the curtains in the Wizard of Oz and seeing how terrible our parliamentary system is working. So actually, in a sense,
what do you mean? Sorry, no.
What's going on in Whitehall and Westminster?
Yeah,
think that's a functional? Do you think we've got a functional
that's not
parliamentary
the political
democracy?
class. That's a dysfunctional prime minister, isn't it?
Well, I think it's on both sides of the benches, I'm afraid.
No,
I don't just when I have these debates, I don't even just talk from my own. Let me get word in, Ken.
Sorry, Mo.
I don't just talk from my own perspective. I do take soundings from people I talk to all the time, and genuinely, one of the things that people say to me all the time is we've got one of the worst political classes they can remember in history, and that's a problem. And I think you can only solve a problem when you see that it's there, and that was the big thing about accountability. When you've got a government in Brussels, governance from Brussels, and you've got governance from Westminster, it's too easy to put things in the cracks in the middle and have nobody held accountable, and that is democratic, and that's why sovereignty has been amazing.